There really just isn't any words anymore for everything, really. You look at what's going on in the world and what happened in DC, and what the fuck? We live in a world where people are oppressed and they're desperate. Many people are hungry, don't have jobs, and day by day their rights just keep getting taken away from them. So, what do? They try to find something to cling on to, something that gives them hope. And for whatever good or bad Donald Trump is, he's somebody that gives people hope. But on the flip side of that, this is the whole thing with banner waving. Trying to find those symbols, whether they be people or some sigil of some sort, to put all of your faith in. And to see what happened today, it's I really don't. I mean, the whole idea is that it came down to just more partisan bullshit. That the whole thing was, oh yeah, we support Trump and we don't think uh, he got a fair deal or this, that, and the other thing. When did people start having faith in politicians? When did people just turn over every bit of their agency to whatever person that they cast a vote for? Because this is a new concept to me. You know, we have these things going on because of decisions that are made without any scientific proof, with this virus going around, where people are going supposedly expecting to be mandated to get a vaccine that isn't really a vaccine because it doesn't stop you from getting infected or spreading it to somebody else. Okay, that's official information. And that we're supposed to not congregate with each other in certain places, but other places it's okay because that's the business. You have the huge steal of wealth from all the people, and now you have, and well, it's been an ongoing thing for a while, but even things like water, one of the most basic things to survive, that is being taken away from people and made into a commodity. And you have people that are thrown to the ground and put in handcuffs because of rules that make no sense. I often hear the term rule of law, and I always I always find it a rather interesting term because rules are something to be followed without any question and that you have no authority over, but law is something that we can all agree on. So the term rule of law to me seems pretty much an oxymoron. And, I hear now about this bill in New York where they want to lock you up for any communicable disease. Seriously? And supposedly in the bill is, oh, you can be locked up if you've been exposed to radiation. Well, that would be every single person, period. Because guess what? If you're watching me, you've been exposed to radiation. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, you've been exposed to radiation. Did you go outside today? You've been exposed to radiation. Did you have your heater running? You've been exposed to radiation. None of this stuff has scientific backing that would, or let me say, enough scientific backing that would suggest that the measures that have been taken are necessary. Okay? We talk about masks and how ineffective they are, because we can talk about, okay, you're only stopping a percentage of the particulates, and viruses are too small to really be efficiently blocked out by any mask. And sure, you can reduce the amount of particulates, but in science we have what's called negligible effects, and that's what masks do. If you want to be able to stop a virus, you need to have a hermetically sealed suit. That's the only way you're going to prevent transmission between people, and we're not going to have that happen. So I know people like to blame. So sure, let's play the blame game. Whose fault is this? Whose fault what happened today? Whose fault is it that why the world is the way it is? Well, it's everyone's fault. It's the corporations for wanting profit. It's the politicians for wanting power. It's people like you and me for allowing this shit to happen. You know, people would like to think that they're the masters of their own destinies and that everyone is the master of their own destiny, but they're not. But what enables you to make better choices in the face of each situation that you face or you come across is the more that you know and the more that you understand about how everything works. So, anyone, whoever says, oh, I know enough, and I'm just going to stop right there, which is pretty much the majority of people, this is the stuff that happens. Anyone who says, why don't you just do what you're told? This is the stuff that happens. Not for nothing, but the price of freedom is often less of a burden to bear than the price of obedience. Just figured I'd throw that out there. So, the world's gone to shit. And the world's going to keep going to shit. Until when? You tell me. I mean, for my part, I'm not going to sit here and try and be some sanctimonious asshole saying, oh, yeah, you see, I do this and you should do this and so forth, because quite frankly, I'm a misanthrope. I don't like people. I haven't liked people for 34 years, and I've pretty much checked out of society at that point. And since I've been checked out since that point. And because society keeps, you know, coming to a head like it does now, I mean, what can I do? Join along, pick up a banner and wave it myself? Or do what I've been doing and just trying to educate the people that I can, teach people how to think for themselves. But, I mean, that hasn't really made a great impact, so. Of course, there's a lot of people who differentiate the idea of what thinking for yourself is. I mean, at the end of the day, I understand that people are tired, they're hurt, they're pissed off, and they're desperate. But, like I said, we're as much to blame as how we got here, or how the world got here, as the people that caused it. Because just remember another thing, because I talked about the price of freedom. Well, what is the price of freedom? Well, the price of freedom is vigilance and tolerance, but its consequence is complacency. So, how many people have been complacent in how we got here? I know I have, but that's for my reasons. I'm not like the majority of you people who probably want to have a family and a better tomorrow. I just lack the ability to give a shit about anything. So, take that food for thought, what you will. Unfortunately, if you're wondering why I'm even making this video, is because, you can't just sit by and say nothing. You can't just sit by and do nothing. So, unfortunately, I'm not in a position where I can do a whole lot because, well, for me, really, I got nothing left to lose. But at least I can make a video and annoy some people with what I gotta say. So, as opposed to my usual outro, whenever the fuck I feel making a video, I've actually been tossing the idea around with somebody about doing a podcast. So, for any few people that do decide to watch that, or decide that they'd be interested in watching that, and someone sharing their opinions and me sharing my abusive misanthropy, go ahead and let me know. Share this or whatever. I don't give a fuck. I kinda no, I don't give a fuck. But yeah, that's it for the video.